Dueweke. I am an energy professional, clean energy professional in Detroit. I work for Walker Miller Energy Services in the energy efficiency realm, but am interested and passionate about sort of all things sustainability, both locally and statewide and globally, really. Well, I have kind of been drawn to the idea of renewable energy and clean energy since high school, maybe. That was kind of the impetus for going in, getting an engineering degree, wanting to sort of get into this sustainability industry through energy and through high-performance buildings. So that's how it started. I've kind of followed it ever since then, and as soon as I was in a position where I was pretty sure that I was going to have a house to be able to put solar on, I was thinking about what it would look like to have solar on there. And so that's what drew me to the idea to begin with. And once I got the house and started looking at my bills, I was able to make moves, pull the trigger on it. Being in the energy industry, I kind of understood a little bit deeper than I think your average consumer would what goes into understanding the amount of outflow and the amount of usage that goes into your house, and why that's important. And so kind of was always doing, Excel sheets with my bills and understanding the kilowatt hours that my house was using, and that helped me get sort of a back of the envelope understanding of what it might cost and what the next steps would be. Cost of energy efficiency can certainly vary. You've got your really low-hanging fruit where LED bulbs and some of the basic energy efficiency measures, even smart thermostats, are relatively inexpensive now. We've gone from seeing LED bulbs being like $5 or $6 a piece to being able to get a 5-pack for $5 or $6. So that's definitely a huge one because you can go from 100 watts to 15, 85% reduction for a couple bucks. That's huge, right? And then depending on how much more you want to get into it, weatherization, upgrading your mechanicals. We do a lot of work in Detroit. You can see projects everywhere from a couple $1,000s to $7,000 or $8,000, and there's rebates and utility incentives that can help out with that too.
Okay, cool.
I did not. I did, however, make use of the Michigan Saves financing program, which was great, very straightforward, and no down payment. And so I just started making monthly payments on this, and it was relatively feasible from a financial perspective.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And how do you qualify for the Michigan Saves program? Does anyone qualify?
They have, I think, a credit requirement, and then you have to use a Michigan Saves approved contractor, which if you have one, the contractor that you want to use, and they're not on the list, you can very easily just give them a call, and they can work it out. So, yep. The name of the company that installed the solar was Distributed Power. They're Detroit/Highland Park based, unless they've moved. And yeah, they came in and they do work all over the state, both commercial and residential. I think it took probably even a little bit longer than it needed to, because I, being in the industry, was doing kind of a lot of the stuff on my own and kind of like doing back the envelope stuff. And so, but once we turned it over to Distributed Power, they put together a site plan and an electrical plan. The Michigan Saves loan went through in a couple of days, and then once the contractor was ready to come in and install, the install took a couple of days as well. So all told, it was pretty quick. It was complete in January of 2020. First thing that you'll notice is that this is obviously a flat roof, and so a lot of the solar you see installed is usually on a pitched roof or ground mount for residential systems. Got a relatively unique setup here. The solar panels themselves are mounted to these metal brackets, and the metal brackets are held down on the roof with these concrete cinder blocks. And the benefit of this system is this ballasted system is that there's no penetrations, there's no screws or bolts or anything that go into the roof. With a relatively new roof, that's huge because there's no, voiding the warranties with screws or nails or anything like that. So the system is, each of these panels is about 325 watts. They're strung together. You can kind of just see it right here. They're strung together with cable, one to the next. And then the system runs the length of the house. And then at the back of the house, it runs down to an inverter. And the inverter takes the direct current and DC power that is produced by the solar panels, turns it into an alternating current, AC current, and then it puts it into the electrical box at my house, the circuit breaker. And so from there, I'm either using the power or it's going to backflow out into the grid. That's how the system works. The whole project, and I've got about 3.5 kilowatt of solar up here with one inverter, which is a major cost. The total project was right around $8,500. I think it'll end up being about 7 or 8 years. I've held just outside of the net metering sort of agreements, and so I'm getting less credit every time I send a kilowatt hour back to the grid. I think there's a lot that can be said about the value of solar, and there's a lot of great research done to say that the value of solar includes not only the actual energy, but all these intrinsic environmental and then social benefits that come with it.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of sort of rethinking the concept of how we compensate people for renewable energy. I don't feel bad running the air conditioner on a hot day. I have to say, but no, I mean, I think for me, it's been part of my ethos for a long time to just do what I can to transition away from fossil fuels and other greenhouse gas contributing behaviors. And so I think the idea to move to solar didn't necessarily have an impact on my day-to-day life, but it's just nice to know when you think about it. You've got the panels up there, you're producing power locally, it feels good. I think the number one thing is education. I think most people do not actually think about their energy and where it comes from. Most folks think about their energy about once a month when they get their energy bills or when the power goes off. Other than that, you flick the lights and they're supposed to come on. It doesn't really matter where they come from because that's not part of what matters to most people.
Right.
So letting folks know that there's a whole chain of things that has to happen to turn those lights on, and it usually ends with something being burned and gases going up into the atmosphere and creating adverse health conditions for our communities. If there was a better understanding of how all that worked, I think there would be more of an interest in energy efficiency and renewable energy. Talk to people who have already done it, which I think is exactly what's going on right now. Learn about where your energy comes from. Try and aggregate neighbors and friends who are interested in doing it. There's a lot of really cool models going on, like in Ann Arbor. There's even one right here where there's solarized programs where people can get, discounts for bulk buys. Energy efficiency first, always lower those bills. I think education awareness is a huge one. In the almost year that I've had these panels, they look brand new. They're going to continue to look brand new. I'll come up and clean them once or twice a year at most. They're not going to blow off the roof. These are proven systems that have been used in hundreds or thousands of applications. The panels themselves are going to last 20 to 25 years, and that's just a great investment. And so I'm willing to come up against any myth that doesn't have to do directly with people not financially being able to purchase solar panels or that not being feasible for their house. If you can do it and you have the means, by all means.